Malaysia and Indonesia in the women's get together because they finished second best in Group A and Group B, and they'll be battling it out for the third and fourth place position in the women's, and that's going to be our last game of the day. It's been an exciting run for Harish and me, Glenn, here, and we do hope that you've enjoyed every moment of this. But right now, we get into our last and final encounter as our ladies get ready to put on a sparkling show here. And I'm going to leave Harish, of course, to do the honors with Team Indonesia.
And yep, lineup for Indonesia is at number 1, we have Judith Anastasia. Number 2, Pipit Ayu Lestari. Number 3, Octavia Nurul Aini. Number 4, Nurul Sifa Kusumawa Sari. Number 5, Andi Ria Palasangi. Number 6, Fitri Arumandi. Number 7, Wardana Nurul Fajrin. Number 8, Monique Ardella. Number 9, Shakira. Number 10, Nadia Silvi Koirunisia. Number 11, Yesi Okta Sari. And number 12, Salza Putria Mangasi. And they are coached by Iswa Yoi.
So while we do get started, of course, here with, well, Team Malaysia, let's very quickly remind you of the lineup here. It's Dayang Anakmangi, Dinasia Fika, Henrietta David, Josie Mavstalina Anakon, and I'm going to stall that because it looks like that's a quick run. Absolutely well done, isn't it, from Kajalin Jennison. She also opened the scoring in the previous game.
Malaysia scoring a try in the first 18 seconds. Wonderful front forward play.
So it certainly looks like Valerie Anakjuan. Valerie getting ready. Can she convert? Well, not this time, so I'm going to finish off the rest of the names there. Besides Kajal and Jennison, you've got Noor Farhana, Noor Alia Nabila, Noor Isa, Nurul Fatin Hidayah, Rosliani, one Noor Shafika, Valerie Anakjon, who we just saw, and well, getting straight off from the center once again, it's Rosliana with a kickoff. The coach, of course, is Mohammed Faiz, and Mohammed Faiz has been, well, been doing quite a bit of good work, I think, with the ladies. They too had a great strategy when they came on earlier. Very similar styles of play, would you say, Harish? Or each of them does bring a different flavor to the pitch?
Yeah, I think both definitely have a similar style of play, but you know, from watching both teams today, I think Malaysia definitely do have a couple of faster ladies on the wings. Indonesia likes to keep it close from what we've seen, but hey, it is rugby, anything can happen.
And when you're playing here for, you know, third and fourth place, you're definitely going to play your heart out, so it's a big one.
Exactly, because this most likely would affect seedings for next year potentially, so, you know, both teams definitely want to win.
So it's been a great day here. Just remember that if you want to extend the fever of this rugby action, it's very simple. Head on straight to the National Stadium, where you will have, of course, you know, a couple of days of fascinating, electrifying rugby, and that's just going to be, well, one of the finest ways to end this weekend, which has been such an excellent rugby week. And here she does it again. Well, just to repeat, pretty much. Oh, that's a nice way to do it. You just want to get your teammates touching, make it a joint effort. So brilliant work being done here once again. And that was, of course, Kajalin Jennison and Valerie. And that touch, of course, I think did it all to help her convert as well. So 12 points in the bag for Team Malaysia, and it's quite an interesting, well, start for them. So Malaysia, just as you mentioned, they do have that slight edge or that slight X factor, I do believe, over Team Indonesia, and Indonesia will have to dig deep.
Yeah, Indonesia hasn't really had much of the ball yet, so, you know, once they have it, let's see what happens. Kick off, Indonesia tapping it back, but Malaysia retrieve it right away into the hands. Kick through.
Rosliani does well. Now who's going to get to the ball first? I think that's a big question.
That was a great weighted kick, and Malaysia finishing it off with a try.
What a photo finish that is,
what
isn't
a
it?
finish, what a play. And just like I said, I think Malaysia definitely had a bit more, has a bit more speed in their ranks.
You got to give you, well, her full name this time. That's Noor Alia Nabila binti Samsu Bahari. Well, doing it really well here, and it's back to the usual suspect, It's going to be Valerie. She's converted 1 out of 2. Let's make that 1 out of 3. So 17 points firmly in the driver's seat here, Harish.
It's looking like it could be a runaway game for our friends from across the causeway, Malaysia.
Well, it certainly seems like it, isn't it, babe?
Malaysia kicks off.
Rosriani just getting that ball back into action. Team Indonesia started off with a very, very heavy spark, just looking a tad bit under the weather in that last minute and a half after, Malaysia got those 2 tries in. I think that's normal, would happen on any given day.
So as the sun sets here in Jurong West, the stadium lights come on for the last game of the C7s between Indonesia and Malaysia.
So very interesting as far as, Indonesia's fight back goes. They do understand the importance of this game. And they would definitely like to take back a bit of the glory.
Last minute or so before we go to the second half break, where I would need to take my leave, Glenn. I've got training right after this. I can see some of my teammates in the 15 squad training in the corner over there. Rain delays, of course, but it's been an absolute pleasure to be in the hot seat with you today.
Oh, I've absolutely enjoyed having you here, just to give us a bird's eye view and to give us really, in-depth information about not just the Singapore team, but other teams that you're so well acquainted with, Harish. And, it's been an absolute joy and a delight having you. Matter of fact, I think I would have probably stuck like a sailor on a lone ship had you not come in today.
Well, you probably have to be that sailor right now in the second half as I take my leave shortly.
I can see the shore now. Just a few minutes away, isn't it?
But yeah, it's been wonderful being here, folks. Once again, this is the C7s. My name is Harish, and signing out.
Thank you so much, Harish, for being with us, and thank you for bringing on Dan and Chloe as well earlier. So really great having you. Wish you all the best, and do have a great training session, no doubt about it. So see you, buddy. And so Harish, the lad who was with us right through this day, remember, plays for the Singapore national rugby team. He's on the 11th of May. Where he'll be playing across the border. Training session on for him. Harish, like most of our other lads in rugby, does work a day job as well, dedicates his time to wearing his country's colors on his sleeve. So back to the action right now, and here we are, Indonesia and Malaysia locked in battle. Malaysia leading 17-0. It certainly looks like it's going to be an interesting battle because Indonesia would like to claw their own back. This, of course, is into, well, just that very time when Malaysia might be able to embark on a solo run, and she's going to carry this home. Extreme comfort. Absolutely no worry for young, Noor Alia Nabila. So all said and done, 22 points that we're looking at as Team Malaysia now want to cap it off. They would want to finish this off with a 3rd place finish. Let's not forget that for the men's, of course. We did mention that earlier. Team Singapore and Malaysia are going to be in that 1st and 2nd place battle on Saturday. But for the women's, we will give you that information as well as we get into the break. A conversion there, from Valerie Anak Chuan does serve well to take Team Malaysia up to 24 points. So still 1 half to go, and still that prize presentation that'll kick off after that, and it's all happening right here at the Jurong West Stadium. My name is Glenn Mascarenas. We had Harish Krishnan, who was with us earlier, and everybody who knows rugby or watches rugby knows him in Singapore. He's an excellent national team player. He does play 2nd row, and he's just one of those lads that loves the sport. So the men's team, Singapore and Malaysia, all neighbors and friends. That's a Singapore A team. will be locked in battle for the first and second place. So Singapore A and Malaysia will be in battle for the first and second place for the men's. But in the women's, of course, battling it out for third and fourth here. So Team Singapore has done excellently well, really well, to keep themselves well in good stead in this cup this time around. So on to that second half of play. But the score currently locked at Indonesia 0, Malaysia 24. So I do believe it is quite an event to watch. As our ladies try to make a few inroads in here, that's picked up safely. Remember, Malaysia have changed, well, there's always a change of side, which is customary. That's a quick run. Is she going to take this on a solo finish once again? And that's Kajalin Jennison. Well, she did that earlier today, and that's the third time around. A sweet hat-trick of tries. So here we have it. Absolutely stunning performance straight up from that half-time mark. And it's on to 29 points. Absolutely no chance there if you think about it. So Valerie Anak will step in now to do the needful. Valerie Anak. Can she convert? Just stretch these points. Well, I would say very comfortable here. It's on to 31 now. And Team Malaysia really putting this game practically out of the hands. But having said that, in a game of rugby sevens, the tide can turn in a matter of seconds. And you can have the opposition team, well, with a few tries and definitely with a few conversions, change or upset the apple cart. 31 points still, a bit of a well, huge ask here as we progress through that second period. And now to do the honors with the kickoff after that try. Here's Dina Siafika. Keeps it fairly simple. Very good interception there from Yesi Okta. And Indonesia granted the benefit of that call after that misdemeanor by Team Malaysia. And the referee will just calmly glance. Well, she did call that. And that, of course, does mean that it's going to be, well, time for a line out. So we've had some great moments in today's, well, event. Let's very quickly, clarify this for you. Well, earlier we did see her in action, and that's Josie Mavstalina. Well, looking to pick that up, and smartly done there by Vardhana Nurul. Well, gutsy effort here from Team Indonesia. There's no doubt about it. They would like to at least get in a try or two, rather than going with a famine of tries. They wouldn't want that in today's game. Even as we cross the 10-minute mark, and the battle's been tough for the last couple of minutes. Well, straight out of the ruck, Indonesia still holding their own. And Team Malaysia, well, not willing to let up. This time around, Nurul Sifa. Well, pulling it through, and there's definitely going to be, well, the benefit awarded to Team Indonesia. This time, Team Malaysia will have to rest easy. Tina Siafika. Well, you can't be trigger happy, not when you've got the official there. It's got to run according to the official's call, so no doubt about it. Just very quickly going to recap this for you while we do get ready for a scrum. Dan Norton the former England and Great Britain Rugby Sevens player, known to have the most tries in the world Rugby Sevens history. Silver medalist at the Rio Olympics and bronze medalist at the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games. He was with us earlier, along with the very, very charismatic and lovely Chloe Dalton, who was born in Singapore. Currently plays for the AFL team Greater Western Sydney Giants. She also was a gold medalist at the 2016 Rio Games with the Australia Rugby Sevens team. Former basketball player, and it was just amazing to have two such accomplished athletes with us earlier. And then let's not forget our very own Singapore born and bred Harish. So while we get on with this event, let's also remind you that this is a warm-up to the main sevens, which will be played, where you have all the international teams in the Singapore Sevens who will be in action at the national team. Indonesia once again getting the benefit of that scrum, but not for too long. And the official, of course, will put that in favor of Team Indonesia. Yesi Okta. She's been fairly active. Well, I would say in the second period, much better effort here from Team Indonesia. They've really tried to hold their own. It's been very defense strong, and that's been great strategy coming in from their coach. And their coach, of course, is Iswa Yudi. So, special mention there, because he's just changed the strategy of the game in the second period. And a little too late, you think, from the young ladies, but they're putting on a sparkling effort here. Would have thought of a chip and chase, but that's not going to work too well. And did she get a touch to that? Well, almost, you would have thought. Almost. And yes, she most certainly did, which is why we've got a conversion as well. Just that last touch of the ball. Team Malaysia did that earlier as well. So, I think Team Indonesia just doing the needful. And here's Yesi Okta. So just saving themselves the blushes there. Absolutely wonderful work being done here. So Team Indonesia now trail by 26 points, but it's 5 points in the bag. And I think those 5 points, well, just enough to salvage a bit of pride. You don't want to walk away, with an egg or with a nil game. You definitely don't want to walk away with the donut. There's no doubt about it. Aiming for the kickoff here, Vardhana Nurul Fajrin. Good interception there from Team Malaysia. And here it is in the hands, Nur Alia. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Optimum Nutrition, and of course EOS H2O. Well, one of the reasons, besides the finesse and the, dedication of the athletes, besides, Singapore Rugby, besides everyone who's not only watching this but has joined us here at the stadium, it is the sponsors who really make it count. And here we go, another one from Team Malaysia, and this time coming to the party, it's Henrietta David. Oh, she did miss out on a few tries earlier, well, in the game, but she certainly had a failure. So Henrietta David restoring that lead of 31 points. It's now 36-5 in favor of Team Malaysia. And what a change. What an absolute change here. And that's converted. So which means it's, 38 in the bag. And that game will be brought to an end with Team Malaysia finishing third best in the women's. What a fascinating game this was. As far as Team Malaysia is concerned, they ruled it. They came, they saw, and they dominated. Indonesia saving themselves the blushes with, those 5 points, but Indonesia putting on a stellar defense in those last 5 minutes. So, hats off to them. We really enjoyed their display. So let's cap this off for you. It's been a really exciting day for us. We've actually enjoyed every moment of it. Thank you for joining us, but don't go anywhere, because stay with us, because we still have the prize presentation coming up, and we still have to, well, give you the top 2 teams that have made it through that will play in the finale on Saturday at the National Stadium for the women's winners in this cup and the men's winners in this cup. In the men's, of course, it's going to be Singapore and Malaysia locking horns. Neighbors, brothers, friends, it's going to be a very, very interesting battle. And believe you me, when Singapore and Malaysia do play, there's always going to be sparks, and there's always going to be the match that you want to watch visually. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us as we're going to give you, well, that scenic shot. Got to thank our cameraman for that lovely train setting there. I always love it. Always talk of how it reminds you of a Legoland kind of a setting. A big fan of trains, having seen most of them from my childhood, from my cousin's place when I used to visit, and still fascinated by them. Lovely scene that we can see. Do not be mistaken, that isn't the moon up there, but those are the floodlights. And we do have, of course, this building's lovely scenic setting of blue, lovely filter also put on by our cameraman. So always our unsung heroes, our producers, our director, our cameraman. Well, they are the ones that really give us these great visual shots, and hats off to them. Today, of course, the man in charge of the production was Ikram, who took us through all the action. And here we have it. We are going to get our winners, who finished 3rd best in this tournament. And I'm going to say this again to be, well, soft and politically correct, 2nd runners-up. So 2nd runners-up in the event, Team Malaysia, as they proudly come on. What a show, what a display of perfection in that last game. Hats off to them. Absolutely stunning performance from these young ladies. So this is exactly what they fought for. They're going to take home a bit of the glory. And here we have it, all the stars of Team Malaysia. And she was such a star here today. I have to give her a special mention, and that is the number 12, Kajalin Jennison. Absolutely stunning performance for her. She had a hat-trick of tries in the previous game, maybe even 4. I could have lost count, but what a performance from her. She really put on such a massive show. Best team. These young ladies have been rough, they've been tough, they've been, well, really professional, and they've been skilled. And the proof in the pudding is pretty much this. Finishing 2nd runners up here. What an event from Team Malaysia, and more power to them as they get ready for that final shot, along with the coaching staff, team management. We're all there put together. It's been a great day at the office for these ladies. That's a victory cheer from them. We have the lads who will come on board next. And time for us, of course, to, well, pretty much end it here. It's time for me, Glenn, to shut shop and ship out of here. And we'll catch you again with more rugby action next year, the same spot, same time. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye for now. And don't forget to fill your weekend with more rugby at the National Stadium.